it's your lovely Abbie Dagrin, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'll be speaking on Virgo Rising, and if you have a rising in Virgo, what it means, your personality traits, how you may look on the outward appearance, and the explanation of having a Virgo Rising, the positive sides and the negative sides that can go to having one as well. So you guys hang on tight, grab a snack, sit, and let's learn together what a Virgo Rising is. Please stay tuned for the rest of my video. If you have not yet become a part of the Abbie Dagrin family, then this is your calling. Hit that subscribe button, that notification bell so you guys know when I upload new videos on the daily. Also, hit that like button because I know you guys will like this video. Share this video with all your friends, your family members, enemies, or anyone who you know may be interested in the video, or anyone who has a Virgo rising and want to learn more about their rising. Okay, let's get right into the video. So on your natal chart, there are 3 parts, which is the sun, the moon, and the rising, which give you like a basic understanding as to who you are in life. And when you have your rising sign, it is third in command. You will have to know the place you were born and also the time you were born in order to calculate your rising sign. And with your rising sign, it's usually someone's first impression of you. So before you even speak or say a word, people will just look at you and look at your presence, and they can determine how they feel about you. And that more than likely is going to be connected to your rising sign. This is also how you approach life. So the things that you do, or the thing that you may perceive, or anything that you may do in life, it is connected to your rising sign. It is basically your lens between you and the world. So what people will see of you when they just look at you, what people may perceive of you as soon as they look at you, that is the lens that you have between you and the world without any other communication other than your presence. And lastly, it is also your attitude towards life, and the way you look at life can be contributed by your rising sign. Now with that information in regards to your rising sign, we're going to talk about the personality traits of someone with a Virgo rising. Someone with a Virgo rising, they're going to have a lot of attributes of a Virgo in the sun section. However, the first thing is that they are shy people. So sometimes they're very sweet people, however they're very shy because they may not know in what environment they are in at the moment. So they try their best to feel it out, or if they don't really know you that well, they'll be shy, and when they do get to know you, then they will open up and you will see their rising sign, and you'll see their personality in a better perspective. Because of their shyness, they are not self-assertive, so they won't assert themselves into a situation. If there's an argument going on, they're not gonna really give their opinion on the issue. Most likely they're the type of people, they talk when they are spoken to, or if they are in an argument, then either they'll be like, you know what, no, I don't have anything to say, or the only time they'll have something to say is if they are called on. Someone with a Virgo rising also tend to be critical on themselves, and more particularly they're critical on how other people perceive them or how other people see them. So if you see them in a negative light, they will be a little sensitive to that, which there's nothing wrong with sensitivity. Or they may critique themselves on that because they're like, you know what, they want to be perceived in the best light. They want to be perceived as a perfectionist. They want to be perceived as something or someone who is perfect. So when they don't get that perception from people, it does hurt them, and they do start to critique themselves and look into themselves as to why people will perceive them in a negative light. And this is something that's detrimental to them at times, because this can really hurt them a lot, because they do care about what other people feel about them or say about them. And this can also be true, but it can also be lessened based on your moon sign and on your sun sign. So hopefully there is another balance in their sun sign or moon sign, so they won't really think about this on a daily basis. However, if they do have a moon in Virgo and a sun in Virgo, then this can be very detrimental because they can really care about what other people say about them. So this is something that someone with a Virgo rising does need to work on, because they need to realize that they are lovely, and every rising sign is lovely regardless of what other people may say about them. Another trait that they have is that they are very soft-spoken people. They may have a timid voice and they may be very shy, so that may help or is a reason as to why they are very soft-spoken. They don't really like to talk loudly, or at times they don't really like to bring attention on themselves, so that's one of the biggest reasons why they are soft-spoken. But when they do speak, people do listen, and their voice is very unique, and people tend to always remember them for their soft voices. Another trait is that they're very orderly people. They love to have a plan written out, and they love to have order in their lives. So if something were to occur, or if they have a plan, they have an A, B, C, D, pros and cons, and they have an A, B, C, D plan as to what they want to do. So if they're running a business, they need to have a plan in front of them to know what's going on, and they want to make sure that they have a plan in advance. So if anything were to go bad, then they know what to do. And if anything were to go good, they're just able to go with the flow. This also adds to them being very neat. So if you go to someone who has a Virgo rising's house, they're more than likely going to be very neat. Everything's going to be in their place. Everything is going to be clean, and everything has a place, and each place has something in it. So when you go into their house, you feel at home and you feel clean, that even to a certain extent, when you go to their house, sometimes you're even scared to sit or even to breathe in the house, because it's so neat and so clean that, when you go to people's houses and they look like that, you're like, oh my goodness, where am I gonna sit? So that's the type of house people with Virgo risings have. Another trait is that they are very likable people. People do like them, even though they are hard on themselves to a certain extent. I just want to let someone who is a Virgo rising know that they are very likable. People love you, people like you, and people love to be around you. Even though at times you may be shy, but when you open up, people get to see a side of you that's very beautiful and that they want to be around. The next trait is that they are a perfectionist. And this is something that goes along with the Virgo sign period. So whether it's in the moon, whether it's in the sun, or whether it's in the rising sign, they're going to be a perfectionist. They have high standards, so they want to make sure that everything's perfect. And this can come from how they want people to perceive them. They don't want people critiquing them, so they make sure that everything is perfect. And this does have a downside to it, however, it does have an upside to it as well. For their high standards, this is something that's very good because they don't really want to be taken advantage of that much or at all. So they make sure they have high standards not only in themselves, but also in people who they may date or people who they may be around. They want to see you do good, and they want for you to be the best of who you can be. So for them to have high standards in you or in themselves is something that is a great trait. Virgo rising is an earth rising sign. They're going to be very practical people. Other signs may use emotions, however Virgos, they use practicality. They look at the situation from a practical point, and they try their best to make their decisions from that. Another trait is that they are not lazy people. They work very hard, and they always try their best to be active, and they will even get on themselves for being lazy, because they just always want to be active. Even when they're resting, like they're taking a vacation, they'll be upset at themselves, like, you know what, I just should be working, let me just get this done. So laziness is something that a Virgo rising does not have. Next is a great work ethic, and this comes from them not being lazy. They're always working hard. They want to accomplish a dream or to have success in life. So their work ethic is so undeniable. That's why a lot of their success comes from that. Next is that they are very dependable people. Even though someone with a Virgo rising may seem shy, but they're always going to be there for you when you need them. They really want to see you excel, and they're always going to be there when you need someone to talk to, you need a shoulder to lean on or to cry on. They're going to be there, and if there's a serious situation that may happen, they're going to be there for you. Now I'll be speaking on their appearance. So someone who has a Virgo rising, because risings do deal with appearances as well, they have very observant eyes. So when they look at something, they're really thinking about it, and you can tell that their attention is on you. They have a youthful look. They look very young. They have smaller facial features, and they also have a higher forehead. And one example of this is Julie Andrews. If you look at her facial features, you can see that she does have like a higher forehead. Her eyes are very observant and they're very beautiful. She does have a youthful look to her. She looks very young. Even though she's older, you can still see a youthfulness in her facial features, which is very beautiful. And she does have a higher forehead as well, even though she covers it with her hair. But you can see that she has a higher forehead, and she really does exemplify the traits of someone with a Virgo rising. If you listen to her and if you hear her, you do see that she's very practical. She's not lazy. She works very hard. She's a dependable friend. A lot of people talk about how much of a good friend she was. And that's something that Julie Andrews does exhibit, and she really reps Virgo risings in the best way possible. That's all I have for you lovelies today in regards to Virgo rising. Please let me know down below what your rising sign is and what you guys felt about the video. Whether if you do have a rising sign of Virgo and do you agree with these traits, let me know down below. Also subscribe and hit that notification bell so you know when I upload videos. Also share this video with anyone you know. And also follow me on all of my social media accounts, which are on the screen. And I love you all. Please stay safe and healthy. Know that you are loved, and the links will be down below for the social media accounts. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye lovelies.